Hi everyone, today I'm going to be talking about my experience with bloating. Having worked in ICU and surgical wards in the past, I was used to helping patients become mobile after weakness due to prolonged bed rest, illness or surgery. Despite these experiences, nothing prepared me for how I would physically feel after the birth of my daughter. Prior to getting pregnant, I was very active and used to work out several times a week. Unfortunately, due to spotting in my second trimester, I was told to avoid any unnecessary physical activity. I was able to continue with regular day-to-day activity without any issues though. Now, fast forward several months, it was our first day home after the birth of our daughter. I was lying in bed and wanted to sit up. I vividly remembered having to call on my husband for help to be able to go from lying to sitting up. I was literally stunned at how weak my core muscles were after the baby. It made sense that my muscles would be weak, but I guess I never realised that such a simple task would be that difficult. I remember talking to my friends and colleagues and was told by someone that your body is never the same after pregnancy. So when my son was born and he was delivered by C-section, I was a little more prepared on what to expect with my body post-delivery. With 2 young children and my husband travelling for work frequently, life definitely got busier. I knew I had to exercise, and my primary form of exercise was going for walks with the children. Gradually, I started to notice my belly bloating in the evenings. I'd feel an uncomfortable pressure sensation and can honestly say I thought I looked 6 months pregnant. I actually clearly remember this one time. I was at a car wash and a young person asking me about my pregnancy. She had mistaken me for being pregnant, no doubt because of my bloated belly. I would tell my doctor about the bloating and would be advised to try over-the-counter remedies, which I'd try, but with no long-term help. So with all this in the back of my mind, I put it down to your body is never the same after pregnancy, and thinking it's all my fault because I hadn't dedicated enough time to exercises to strengthen the weakened core muscles. Then, a couple of years later, it was coming to the end of December, and a dear friend told me about a type of elimination diet. This was my first time hearing about any kind of elimination diet, and being someone who is always open to new things, I decided I would start at the beginning of the year. Over the month of being on the diet, I noticed a decrease in my bloating. I also noticed several other improvements in my life, some that I hadn't even noticed as being issues, probably because I'd become accustomed to feeling this way. I will talk about these some other time. After realising that things could be better, I dedicated a whole lot of time and money between researching visits to doctors, supplements, trying different diets, all to further improve my bloating. It wasn't until I started learning functional medicine myself that I have been able to properly eliminate my bloating. I have learned that there are many potential factors that contribute to bloating and that you really have to understand the person fully to establish the causes for the individual. Factors can include an imbalance of bacteria in the gut, a yeast overgrowth or SIBO, an overgrowth of bacteria in the small intestine. The bacteria feed on various foods in the gut and produce gas, which then produces the bloating. Your body may have food sensitivities or intolerances which can lead to decreased digestion or inflammation and so bloating. Low stomach acid can result in poor digestion, and the undigested food sits in the stomach where bacteria can feed off it and produce gas and bloating. It's also very important to not rush your meals, as this can lead to swallowing air and not chewing your food properly, and so impact digestion and again lead to bloating. This is a whole topic in itself, but you may have heard drink your food and chew your liquids. You want to chew your food to a mushy, near liquid consistency so that you can almost drink it, as well as chew your soups and smoothies to encourage the food to be digested as much as possible. I know this has been a big factor for me to work on. As a mum, I'd gotten so used to eating whatever little time I had, and usually swallowing my food before it was fully chewed, often so that I could respond to my kids' questions as they just couldn't wait to be answered. I also realised that I didn't like the texture of the chewed food, and so that has taken some time to get used to. My children are now quite aware not to talk to mummy when she has food in her mouth, and at the dinner table we also try to limit conversation whilst we are eating so that we can all focus on chewing our food well. Another factor that is super important is to be calm during, before and after eating. If our body is in a flight or fight response, its focus is taken away from digestion, which it can only do when relaxed. Taking a moment of gratitude before eating can help to activate the parasympathetic nervous system and calm the body in preparation for digestion. Hopefully that gives you a few ideas to focus on with your family. For me, getting to this place has been a long and arduous process. However, I am grateful for the experience and the personal insight and learning I gained from it. I am also optimistic that I can help others get to their solutions faster instead of having to go through an experience similar to mine. There is hope, and no one has to suffer through this alone. If you want to eliminate your bloating, please feel free to get in touch for a complimentary consultation to see if we would be a good match to work together towards your goals. So I'd like to thank you for watching this video and wish you a fabulous rest of your day.